I didn't want to try and go out also.
Okay, go.
We are in location in Toronto, interviewing Dr. Sankurathri, who is visiting Toronto. He is chairman and trustee of Manjari Sankurathri Memorial Foundation. And interestingly enough, after the Air India crash on June 23rd, 85, while most of the people were interested in looking after investigation and following what's happening and were spending all their time worrying about the ones who had gone, Dr. Chandra did spend a few years in that direction because his wife and 2 kids were on that flight and they perished in that flight. But he put his energy to better use, to do something for the people left behind in the world, and the poor and the illiterate and health-wise handicapped people in India. So we welcome him to Toronto's TV and South Asian Web TV program. Dr. Chandra, I've read about your experience, but we would like to know a little more of how you reacted to the tragedy that must have shook you as a head of the family and with everybody involved in it.
Suresh, that was not very easy. It took me 3 years to come to the grips of the situation and also to believe that my family will not come anymore. Then I questioned myself, why I am living, what is my purpose, so what should I do with the rest of my life. So for that there were no clear answers, but finally I said, okay, I'll do something with the poor and downtrodden people. Try to change their life, help them a little bit so that improve the quality of their life. So when the thought came to me, I immediately resigned my job and went back to India, started doing what I'm doing now.
Now, Dr. Chandra, you had studied in India, you had come to Canada, studied here, and you have been working with the government for many years.
That's right.
So how was the transition to India after so many years in Canada?
Transition was difficult. It is still difficult, but now I have a mission to do. So I focus only on my mission, not about my other problems or challenges. So I take every challenge as a step to the improvement. I take it that way. Otherwise, it's impossible to do what I'm doing there.
Now, where exactly you started in India and what did you start with the first thing? Because right now you have got 3 different institutes.
That's right, yeah. But first when I went there in 1988, I settled in a small place in a rural Andhra Pradesh near Kakinada on the southeast coast of Bay of Bengal. The reason I took that place was because I know where the problems are in the rural India. So I want to identify with them, stay with them, close to them and help them. This way I picked a small place. So as soon as I went there, I started building my own place and this one. Then I have seen the rural areas, how badly they are lacking in the common facilities. We take them for granted, like water, sanitation, primary education, primary health care, etc. So it was a very big problem for me and I know I couldn't handle all those issues. So I have picked only 3 areas. One is education for the rural poor children. Second one is eye care because so much blindness is there, which can be either cured or prevented. And third one is a disaster relief program because that area is prone to cyclones or hurricanes, often flooding comes an yearly event. People living in the low-lying areas are affected by that, so we provide emergency relief to them. So these are the 3 major programs we have been involved and doing on this.
Did you start all these at one time or
No.
how did you start?
Actually, first I started the school in 1992. It is called Sarada Vidyalayam, named after my daughter. And then 1993, we started the eye hospital called Sri Kiran Institute of Ophthalmology.
Sri Kiran is like the God's ray of light.
This also happened to be my son's name,
I see.
Sri Kiran. And the third one started in 1997 or 98, Spandana. disaster relief program.
So initially, I assume you took all your money from
that's
here and put it in these
Yeah.
projects.
That's right.
I see.
That's how I started, because I didn't know what I'm really doing and how much I can do also. So I did not involve any public at the time.
So as they say, you burnt your bridges so that you could never come back here in a way to live.
Well, I don't say that, not burning bridges, but now I have something to do. I have a mission to do. So my presence is required there more than here. So that's why I look at it. I always love to come back to Canada. It's to me like coming home. So I come here every year, try to raise awareness of what we have projects, and also brief the donors what we have been doing, what our needs are and all that. Canadians have been very supportive to me all these years. Without their support, I don't think I would have achieved what all the things I did during the last 19 years or 21 years.
So the first project that you started in 93,
92.
92,
Yeah.
how long it took you to get the support after you had obviously finished?
I started
all the
only
first
going
efforts?
public in 97 or 98,
I
because
see.
then I knew I can't handle on my own resources. I didn't have that much. So I went public, and my friends and other people have started supporting me. But ever since the Ray of Light was broadcasted in 2005, then many Canadians know about me, and they started participating in our activities.
And how about the local people who are doing all these things for you?
In,
Are they volunteers in hospitals?
in India?
Yeah.
No, I think we have mostly, because it has to run 24 hours a day, 365 days, so we can't depend on the volunteers. They're all employees, doctors, nurses, paramedical staff, support staff, everything. They're all employees there. But we do get volunteers from Canada and USA, and who support us in our efforts. It could be either school or a hospital. They come and train our doctors, see the patients, help us, try to keep up with the latest technologies in the eye care also. So it's a joint effort in the sense, mostly Canadian and Indian.
So even being in a rural area, it wasn't a problem for you to get the equipment and the professionally qualified people.
It is a good challenge in a way, but cities are covered by many people. So this is why I chose to stay in the rural areas. That's one of the biggest challenges, is to find the right people who are suitable to do. But we are able to do so far, and it's all by God's grace.
Like in Canada, we have a problem about the doctors or professionals moving into the north, far north or rural areas. Do you have the same problem
Yeah.
with people moving from city
Same
to
problem
rural areas?
Where I am living, many rural areas where India is even worse in that sense, because 70% of people are living in the rural areas where there are no doctors or hospitals or access to Medicare. This is worse than Canada in that respect. This is why our community outreach programs are very strong, where we go to the rural areas and help those people suffering with cataracts or any other problems.
So all these years you never thought about the investigation or followed up what was happening or got involved?
Not really. Once in a while, every time I come to Canada, I hear a little bit about it, but I really haven't followed that much. I'm so busy there also, so that keeps me very, very busy, occupied.
And how do you manage the funds from abroad? From
abroad, we have something called FCRA account. Without that, we cannot receive any money from the foreign sources.
What exactly is that?
Foreign currency regulation account, something like that.
Okay.
That we have to get a permission from the Ministry of Home Affairs. So they monitor every cent that comes into the organization. There's only one route it could come, through a special bank account. So we get all the money from MSMF or any program funding from the Canada or USA everywhere. They all have to come only to that account. And that account we submit a separate audited reports for the Ministry of Home Affairs every year, in addition to our audited reports to the income tax authorities. In India also it's a registered organization under ATG, and we also, any donation received in India also is eligible for tax exemption, just like Canada. Canada is a registered charity. All the donations received are eligible for tax exemption. receipts are given promptly to all the donors within Canada here, and that's how we operate. As I told you before, we do not have any expenses covering operational expenses like office space or salaried employees. We do not have any employees in Canada, so it's all managed by volunteers only. In that way, whatever money we raise here, most of it go directly to the projects for India.
Because there was a report the other day from Charity Intelligence, the last couple of days, and they talked about it on the radio and TV, that on an average, 67% of the dollars that go to the administration or people who collect these funds, and only the rest is going to the actual projects. The range was like 39% to 87%.
That's unfortunate.
And what you are saying is that 100% of the funds that are raised in Canada are going to the people who really need it?
I would say 97% because we have to pay auditors and all this, some expenses are there, but not for the employees or office or anything. It's only for the expenses incurred to maintain the accounts and audited reports for the everybody's sake actually. CRA also wanted audited reports, we submitted them, but I would say as good as 100% really. Yeah.
So that's a very high percentage. And how about the expenses in India for the doctors and others? Where do they come from?
Expenses come from, we generate some income within India, and our foundation here in Canada, MSMF, supports almost like a 30 to 35%. And the rest, we have some small subsidies from the government of India and some other donors, some other organizations. So they all match up. We try to maintain an shoestring budget, very cost effective, and manage our resources very judiciously because we are accountable to all the donors. Every penny we receive, we have the responsibility to spend it very judiciously and use it properly without any pilferage and wastages also. So this is why our operations are very cost effective. For example, our cataract surgery costs only $50, which includes transportation, accommodation, medicines, food, everything. Whereas in Canada it costs almost more, $3,000.
Oh, so that's a pretty, easier
That just give an idea.
Use of the money back in India.
That's right, yeah.
And it's all free for the people who come there and
Yes,
don't have to pay anything at all.
we are very proud that way because among our surgeries we perform, 90% surgeries are free of cost completely to the poor and needy. And I can also say we are the only non-governmental organization which is able to do 90% surgeries free of cost to the poor and needy. Most people do 30 or 40% free, whereas we are doing 90% free. It all happened because of the donations we received here, kind-hearted people in Canada, and the projects we received through CEDA. And
CEDA is also supporting you in this.
Yeah, they helped before for a few projects. Yeah.
I see. Now, so far as the money raising is concerned, that's done here and also in USA. You have some sort of arrangement with parents?
I also go to USA to raise some awareness. And this is a fairly recent incident. So we are able to generate some income there also. And we are also trying within India now because in India also we know we had some recognition. Recent recognition was CNN, IBN. They selected me as a hero, real heroes of India. So people are knowing a little bit more than us. So we are also trying to raise some donations within India.
You have authored many books and publications when you were here. Are you still carrying on with some of that writing?
No, I forgot my science long time ago. I do other things now. Yeah.
So you have been given many awards, including one which was given, I think, first time to a non-Rotarian.
That's right.
So what exactly that award was?
That's called Paul Harris Fellow. This is a recognition for the community services. Usually they give only for Rotarians, but in this case, they made exception and gave it to us. They're all very nice to receive things. That shows, that puts more responsibility on me to do much more services.
It's recognition of whatever you have done over the years.
That's right, yeah.
Right. And this is based in where? In Canada? Or
this is an international
organization
from America, but it was given to me in Kakinada.
Now in America also they have this tax-free status for the
Oh
charity.
yeah, America also we have other organizations helping us. They also have the tax-free exemption.
And this 97% going to
Yeah.
the real charity.
Tourist causes.
I see. You came here, I think, in 2005.
In Toronto?
Yeah, when CBC interviewed you.
No, they came to Kakinada.
Oh, they came
They
there
were
to
there.
interview.
No, I didn't
I see.
come to
I
Toronto.
see.
Yeah.
I
They
see.
came there, they filmed everything, they saw everything. That was the documentary. Called Area of Light. Yeah.
So, how do you feel? What have you achieved, and what do you aim to achieve in the next few years?
I think we have achieved quite a bit more than what we expected when we started. But still, our mission is not over yet, because still there are many problems, including the education. We still have to educate them, because kids keep coming all the time, right? So we have to see that they would not become child laborers. So we have to give them a good education and make a better citizens of tomorrow. That mission will go on. Same thing, the blindness. Blindness is so common there. Still there are many people who are blind with cataracts. They can be all restored just with the $50, and they can see again, so that they can be productive people in their home, in the community, in the country also. Third thing is prevention of blindness. That is even more important. If we act in time, for example, children or people with diabetic retinopathy and glaucoma, if you attend to their medical attention and given to them in time, we can prevent them becoming blind. This is also very important. So, out of 100 people, blind people, 80% need not be blind. That is called avoidable blindness. That means blindness can be either cured or prevented. So that's what we want to do it. Our mission is still ahead. So this way we need more support for that. And meanwhile, we are trying to be also self-sufficient to raise more funding through our own services to the paid people in the community. But still, capital costs are very expensive in eye care. So we need money for the capital funding or for some of these things.
In the 70s, I understand in India they had some mobile clinics, which usually went to the cities, but not, I think, to the rural areas.
They were not really, they were different concept in 70s and 60s. They used to go and do the surgeries in the camps itself.
Right.
That's a big no, because that cannot give a quality vision for the patients. So that is stopped now. So all the surgeries are done only at the base hospital under stringent measures for sterilization techniques, so that there will not be any problems. Plus they need a microscope and microsurgery and all this, so it has to be done only at the base hospital.
Also because there's no follow-up involved when it's
That's right, yeah, that's right. People do not know where to go before and all that. Now things have changed. This is much better for the beneficiaries, because if something goes wrong or for follow-up, they know where to go and all that.
So the foundation is the top body, and under that you have different institutes that are operating in 3 different areas.
That's right.
I see.
But they're all focused on the same central area in Kakinada.
Okay. And you live there only where you started?
Yes, I live there, monitoring it 365 days a year and 24 hours a day. Otherwise, it's not possible to manage those things.
So I'm sure the people there treat you like God.
Well, I don't say
it's very difficult for somebody to come there and live there, and that also from the, I mean, after you lived in Canada for a few years.
It's nice to see the feeling. Sometimes when you operate on the patients, they refuse to leave the hospital without seeing me. So I have to say, in the last time, they get into the bus and say a few words, and then they're going home too.
So how long you're going to be in Canada?
For another probably 20 days or so. So I'm coming back to Toronto again for October 5th. There's a meeting here, and before that I'll be in Ottawa for some more days, and then see how many people I can meet. I want to maximize my trip when I'm here to raise more awareness about our activities. And Toronto is very important for us because we don't get that much support from Toronto so far. So being a big city and the nice, kind-hearted people here, so that's why I'm here trying to promote our.
How about the other persons whose families were perished, whose families perished in the crash? Are they supporting? Are they aware of what you're doing? And how is it?
I think most of the people are aware of it. I don't have direct contacts with many families, but I'm sure most of the people know what I'm doing. As I say, but I don't live in Canada anymore. It's very hard to keep contact with all the people. So when I come to memorial services, I do meet some people here and there.
No, I'm sure at the back of your mind when this crash took place, you wanted to know who's responsible, who's doing what, and why it happened. These are the questions which you must have faced in addition to the loss.
Oh yeah,
of the family members.
Initially I went through the same motions, But now after 25 years, I have different role to play now. I don't think about that anymore. I still miss my family very much, but still I don't think about who did it, how it happened, what happened.
No, after
we can't really undo what has happened.
You have to, of course, you have to accept it. But after this report that came out from Justice Major and the Prime Minister's apology, I'm sure you followed it up.
I read about it.
Yeah.
So I saw
what was your reaction to that?
I think it's a very good report, very well done, and it was about time actually that report is out like that. He should have done a long time ago, but what can you do?
And if somebody wants to go on your website, can you give us the website?
Yeah, we do have a website. It's called www.msmf.ca. If somebody wants to donate, they can go on the website and donate on the line also, either through the credit card or through the CanadaHelps.org or United Way. There are ways of doing it. And if somebody wants to contact for any other reason, the telephone numbers are 613-523-5413. They can leave a message or talk to somebody there. They get all the information they want.
So this is the office in Ottawa?
That's it.
And you have any office in Toronto, or people can go?
No, we don't have an office in Toronto.
So only one office in Canada, and that's in Ottawa.
Yeah.
So you're trying to limit the expenses that you...
Yeah, even that office is not at all expensive, as I told you before. But this is what it is, and we depend on donations. And the donations has to be spent very judiciously, not on the big offices and staffers and all that. So we base mostly on the volunteers. We do have volunteers. Some people are in Toronto, so we have some in Vancouver, some in Edmonton, some in Winnipeg, some in Nanaimo, Salt Spring Island, like that. We have volunteers all over the place. They raise the funds and send it to us directly. We can achieve a lot of things through volunteers only.
And a final question for you. I know it's not easy to think about it, but eventually a time comes when all of us have to leave this world. Have you planned, I wish and we wish that you live long enough, but have you planned of what will happen to all these foundations and institutes once you have left this world?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I don't want to live here forever. But we do have a succession plan in mind because after all these efforts, those things should not go waste or folded immediately. So there are people in India who can look after those things when I'm not here. In Canada, we have an organization here, but there are no assets. Some of the volunteers will certainly carry over even if I'm not here, because the mission is more important than who is doing it and who started it, because it's all history anymore. So our idea is our mission and the people we are serving is more important. I hope all the people will support the cause, not because I'm doing it, because individuals come and go as you say, rightly. So I hope it will continue.
It's a good idea because eventually it's good enough to have somebody who will still carry on the job that you've done. And I'm sure wherever you are, you will feel happy that it's still on, people will be happy.
Yeah.
But wish you long life, wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
And wish you a successful fundraising trip in Toronto, in Canada, and US.
Yeah.
And we look forward to see you sometime.
Thank you, Suresh. Wonderful talking to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Okay.